If you're like me, then you're a brain-dead, no critical thinking, zerging big dick damage melee DPS. Are you tired of watching guides learning about all these fucking mechanics that have no relevancy to you and your role? Then you've come to the right place. Hello, my name is Jackaffy, and this is my World of Warcraft Cataclysm Firelands Heroic Boss Guide for the Melee DPS. I'm first going to walk through a quick cheat sheet you can use when encountering this boss, after which I will pivot to a visual guide of the encounter with the Melee DPS point of view, specifically, the Ret Paladin. With that said, let's get it. So let's first talk about a cheat sheet, some of the most important priorities you need to do for Shannox. So again, this guide is only worried about the stuff that concerns us, nothing else. Now, aside from Shannox, he's going to have two dogs, Rageface and Riplim. Don't worry about it. It's not your responsibility. The first thing you need to understand is that Shannox can't be tauntable, so don't pull threat off the rip. Now, as we know in Cataclysm, once a tank has established threat, it is extremely difficult to pull threat off of them, so the only thing your little hypochondriac ass needs to worry about is not to pull at the start. Shannox also has a frontal cone ability called Arsing Slash, so don't stand in front of him. For this entire encounter, although there are two of his fucking dogs running around, you will be 100% of the time glued and focused on Shannox only and nothing else. There is a mechanic in which the tank will have to kite the boss, so it's your job to predict those tanks' movements so you can have near 100% uptime. By far the most important thing that you're going to have to think about is to avoid the two traps that Shannox does. One of them is called Crystal Prison. If you step on this trap, you will be immobilized, and only once a DPS damages that trap will you be released, so avoid stepping on that trap. The other trap is Immolation, and just like the name implies, it is a dot of fire damage, so be nice to your healers and avoid this trap at all times. If you have add-ons like DBM or Foji, there will be a literal countdown above your head denoting that there's a trap that's about to fall. Simply sidestep and avoid from running into it. Shannox will also throw his spear toward one of the dogs. All you really need to know is that there is a raid-wide damage when this happens, and then also a magma rupture where there will be spews of fire around you. Again, you can pop a defensive this to help your healers and just avoid stepping in fire. For big dick damage and the most out of this boss, it is always best to lust at the start, so time your cooldowns appropriately. There is a dog, Rageface. He'll randomly attack you at times and he'll pin you on the ground, but the only way to get out of it is if a hunter or mage, preferably, does a 45k spell damage to release that dog. Again, not your concern, but feel free to yell at them if they don't do it fast enough. That's it, folks. Now we'll move on to the recording of the fight from a Ret Paladin point of view. Alright, welcome to the live portion of the guide, and we did a lot of mistakes, so if my guild can do this, yours can too. So right off the rip, you're going to want to clear all the trash around its pathing. This is where we like to go place them. Obviously, timer, pre-pot, right? You're going to be lusting at the start. We didn't in this case. Yay me for a Ret Paladin. So the tank's going to take the boss. You're just going to literally focus him and nothing else. Don't pull aggro off the rip. Don't stand in front of him. The tank should be positioning him against this wall right here, and you're just glued, right? Anytime there's going to be those two traps, whether it's the crystal or the immolation, you're just going to pivot to the right. And, you know, ideally your melee DPS are moving together. But as you can see, right, it's not really that big of a deal. And it's really just for you, a tank and spank, right? One of the dogs may pin you. Again, that's not your responsibility. Someone like a mage or hunter should be able to get that fucker off you. So, big dick damage here, right? when he throws the spear is when the tank is going to be prepared to kite. So you're just going to want 100% uptime on the boss, stay as close to him as possible. Know your rotation. If you are interested in a Paladin guide, bam, I will link it in the description below. So if you're curious on big dick Paladin rotation, I will do it. A good thing to do also is if you're DK, you can frost, you know, rip limb, you know, if he's close to you, or close to Shannox. Anyway, he throws a spear. Now the tank is kiting because he's trying to get away from the dog so you can drop off his stacks. Again, not your responsibility. Just stay close to the boss. That's all you need to worry about. See, we tried to freeze trap him to slow him down. So you can do that and help out if you are a DK. But nevertheless, just stay glued, and then you're going to revert back to the same position. And there we go. We do this again, right? So, you know, the crystal trap, you can see here, right? DBM or Foji will have you vocalize where the traps are placed. It helps if the tank moves the boss slightly away from the traps. That certainly helps for melee. There you go. It just landed on me. I just kind of pivoted, and then I realized I don't want to get parried, so I'm going to stand in the back. So there we go, right? Okay, we should probably, this is probably where we're starting to panic. Again, our guild is shit, but nevertheless, right, you shouldn't have walked through the traps. You can kite the dogs through that if you'd like, but again, not your responsibility. That's the off tanks. So again, right, it's pretty much fucking pretty simple. Tank spank, stay on him, don't pull threat, lust at the start, right? Void both traps, and if you get pinned, yell at your range to get you out of it. So it's a rough kill, but it's a heroic kill nonetheless. And that's it, folks. There's not much I can say. It's a fucking joke. So we didn't do too bad. We ended it at around almost 32k damage, and I'm wearing literally a 359 sword or mace. So good loot, and hopefully that helped, guys. Just a quick guide on what the melee should be focused on in any given encounter, and I'll be doing this for every boss of Firelands. So please subscribe, like, comment if this helped. Pretty easy, guys. There's not much to it. I'll catch you on the next one.